Let's go.
That'd be beautiful. Lot. My name's Jason. This is my 80's podcast. You put double into my heart. Right. This is my final part of my two-parter with the amazing Nikki and Karen, who took over the show. If you watch the first one, take a look at that. This is the second part of them asking me questions about me growing up in the 80s about hair. There's loads of stuff. And this part, it's a little bit, Karen did ask me how, not so much rude, but how things come and go. And they did ask like things like, how old were you when you lost your virginity and things like that. So I did tell them with great detail, nothing filth there. I didn't want to go that bad. But it was quite remembering, which is the worst. When you get to my age, it's remembering. So please take a look and a listen at me squirming a little bit, talking about everything about 80s. Growing up, there's other things in there. It's TV, everything in there, TV shows, everything. But please take a look and a listen. I am warning you. We do talk about losing virginities and things like that. So please take a look and a listen.
Right, okay.
Growing up in the 80s.
What was... No, hang on, let me... Right, okay. Did you have a haircut that you thought at the time was pretty amazing, but looking back on it now, you look like a complete and utter
Twat.
Dickhead.
I don't mind saying twat, Karen. Well, like when I was in the 80s, I had loads of curly hair, so I couldn't really have any. I mean, I didn't realise now, if I'd have known then what I know now, I could have had a good mullet when I was in the 80s, because I've done it recently with curly hair. But I could, because my hair was just so, I don't know if I've got, I'll show some of, I don't know if I've got, oh God. I was going to show you. I don't know if I've got a photo of you. My hair, look.
The Hair Bear bunch.
And that was just short.
Oh, is that like curtains as well?
Well, trying to be. Do you know when I look at that, I don't even remember that person, because I just think you look so young there. I think I have got, because my hair, I've got, this is not an 80s one, but I've got a naturally curly. This is when I was really young. This is like 70 something, but I don't care. I'm going to put it on. Oh, hold on. Can you see it?
Down a bit. Is that you, the little one?
That's me, that little fat thing.
Oh.
So this is not an 80s one, but it's near enough. I mean, look at that.
That's quite sweet.
I was 2. I look like I've just ate myself twice.
No, when you're a child though, you're not fat, are you?
Just a child like that.
But it's really bizarre because people say, "Oh, I didn't realise you were ginger." When it's not ginger, it's on the photos were taken in the 70s and 80s. It wasn't as good as ginger. Not that there's anything wrong with being ginger, but I just how can it be ginger? My hair's so dark.
And other colours are available.
But yeah, and I always remember these people thought I was, because they obviously I'd sit in this pram and I was this little like 8-10-month-old boy. And you know, obviously babies not running to holding their head up. So because I was a big, and they thought I was like 3, so they'd be talking to me and I'd be going, head, and they just, but they thought I was like 3 years of age, and they said that poor lad down the road, he's 3 and he can't even hold his head.
He's not normal.
They weren't wrong, but yeah. But I always remember growing up, and I always remember I wanted. Everyone used to have them, them like flat tops. So they used to like put something, and they used to like cut. It was more like the mid 80s, and but you could only do it with straight hair. And they used to have like the side shut, but then they'd have like it used to be like it just flat on top, it come right out, and I could never have that. So no, so I did try. I did try. My sister
afro comb in your hair
always, every time,
and
I always remember it got higher and higher. And I always remember my sisters trying talking about her trying to style it for me and cut it. And in the end, I took the whole of it. I took the whole of it, took off. But if I'd have known then what I know now, a mullet would have been the one that I'd have gone for, Karen, when I was younger. But they just weren't.
You just weren't born with that kind of hair.
No, I weren't. Look, I mean, the nearest I've got is I've seen this one the other day. That was like 8. Look at that.
Look at that fashion.
It's like the Addams Family, ain't it? Oh, there's my great grandma. God bless her. Oh my God! I was always in shorts. Oh, but yes, so it'd have been a mullet. It'd have been. I wish. What would yours have? I'm going to ask you. What would yours have been, Karen?
Well,
what was your disaster? Oh, I know your disaster perm.
I had a perm which was awful, and I could not move it off my head. I looked like I don't know. But then it was funny because there was a question on the telly the other night about the Avengers and what the haircut was, and everyone went for the Purdy haircut. That was more in the 70s, but but in the 80s it was something about having these flicks. So you had the long
Farrah Fawcett. I bet you look. Remember them 80s? Was it the tiny tots? What were they called? Them over the top singing children that used to be in the 80s. What were they called? Oh God! And they used to make them look as if they were like 20 and they were only about 3 or 4.
I looked like a Cabbage Patch doll. What I'll do, I will send you. Honestly, I'll send you the photo on WhatsApp. My mum, my dad was like, "Blame your mother." So I text my mother, and she was like, "No, that wasn't me. That was your nan. That wasn't me." Like honestly, it was horrendous.
But then none of us. I mean, because they always say, don't they? They always say, what did my gran used to say to me when I was younger? Ugly in the cradle, good looking at the table.
Oh, I like that.
So yeah, they always say that, ugly in the cradle, good looking at the table, and they always say like two ugly people make good looking. My mum and dad were pig ugly. I always tell them that, but then they always say that, don't they? They say, ugly in the cradle, good looking at the table.
Oh, God, I don't know what's that to be then, because mine were good looking. So obviously missing you then.
Oh, you're a good looking
my
woman.
Face eventually.
all you got to say is, ugly in the cradle, good looking at the table.
I'm taking that.
That's what you need to take. That's what my grandma swore by. That I mean, I've spoken to one before. When I was about 10, I had one at school that called Mr. Cant. Cant, everybody, not C. Mr. Cant. Cant. He was Cant. Cant.
I thought our teacher was bad. His second name was Kerr, and they always used to call him Wayne.
I had a French teacher called Madame Hoare.
Oh, that's a good name. Good French name. But I always remember with Mr. Cant, not CU, CA. And I always remember he was really bizarre because I was about 10 and he was like, I think he was only like 10 years older than us, but they always seem a bit older, don't they, when you was at school?
Yeah.
And I always remember he left the school I was going, and because I got on so well with him, I used to like banter and I got all these weird jokes and all that. And I remember he wrote me a letter when he left to say, it was quite a fun letter because I got on so well with him. Because when he left, I literally came out in a massive rash from head to toe, but I looked like I'd been burnt with an iron, and they hadn't got a clue what it was.
Withdrawal.
And when I went to and do you know what it was? It was stress of the teacher leaving. It had sent my body into a react. I've never had it since. And I remember him sending me this letter, and it was so lovely. He said, "You will get on. You're going on about you are great people. You are funny. You had a great person." And he was just so lovely. And I remember him growing. And they're the teachers that you remember, don't you, when you're growing up? Yeah. And I did try and look for him once, but I thought
there was a guy.
That way, you have to make sure you pronounce it
when I said it. Cant.
Cant. So if anyone knows Mr. Cant that used to work at Court Crescent School, let me know.
Okay, I got a question.
Go on.
A random, it's just popped into my head. So we see fashion come around, don't we? All the time. It leaves and then it comes back. But what thing has come back that you think shouldn't have?
Oh God. That's come back that should. I wasn't going to say flares, but I quite like flares. But I think 80s flares for me were brilliant. I used to love them because they were so well fitted. What's gone round now and come back? Some movies, not movies, some singers, if I'm honest.
Some what?
Some singers. That's movies,
Singers.
that's fashion. That's not fashion. I'm just trying to think.
What?
I used to have an Harrington jacket, but I don't think they've ever come back, have they? Oh, they have. They've got similar ones to them, but they don't have the name on the back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I need to let that go. Fashion. I'm trying to think. Fashion. That's come back now. That should never have come back.
Paisley shirts, didn't they? That carried on from the 70s into the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what? That's exactly what I was thinking. Was Paisley shirts?
Yeah, some things from the 80s that have.
And I don't like them now.
They should have. They should have stayed.
They're very retro. They should have stayed way back.
That's a good question, actually, because I can't think about some fashion from the 80s that should have just stayed there.
Stayed in the 80s.
What about the big? I mean, a lot of it's come back as retro now anyway, doesn't it?
More women used to have them horrible, big, massive loop earrings, didn't they? They should have stayed in the 80s and never come back.
Yeah, they do still wear them now.
Yeah, I know massive. They do, and they're huge. And they
look like they're like dragging.
Yeah. I always remember, and I've spoken to this before, I always remember when I was like 10, 11 in the year, my mum's friend used to come out, and they used to have this, it was hair, and I've never seen lacquer or hair lacquer on people's hair.
Oh my God, did it stay?
It was
never moved.
There was nothing moving them babies.
Elnet, that's what it was. Elnet.
Yeah. That's a good question, that is. But yeah, I'm trying to think about fashion. I can't really. I think because I was a bit younger.
I can always remember my mum would never let me have my ears pierced.
Oh,
and so
I used to do it myself.
I used to use her clip-on earrings.
Did you? Oh, so you was quite good. I didn't. I just got like a needle and put a cork on the back, went straight through my hair. I used to do that, but you know what I used to do as well, because someone showed me, which was even worse. Put a peg on your ear for about 20 minutes. It went numb. And then, and then instead of putting a needle, I used to just push the earring through, but you could hear it tear.
Yeah, but there was always some friend down the road that would do it for you anyway.
Oh, of course, there was some spiteful bitch.
My experience was ice cubes. Yeah, put ice cube at the back, ice cube at the front, hold it till it was literally blue, and then they stuck it. But unfortunately, mine went a bit septic.
Oh, so yeah, the thing is, I've got them. I mean, even I can't think if you see mine, but one of mine's a little bit too low.
Yeah, well, mine went infected, and so I had to go to the doctors, and then I had to let them close up. And then I had to get them done professionally.
That's what happens when you try and do it yourself.
I know. And then, because I then had them professionally, because they weren't good to start with, I ended up with another lump on the back. So I never got them pierced again until the grand old age of 60.
To get old, yeah.
I have got my ears pierced.
Have you
I
not?
had them done when I was younger, and I got impetigo. And so, like you, I waited and waited and waited, then hadn't done again. I still got it, so I could come. But I remember when I was about 9, so this would have been what, 89, probably 89, 90. 89. And I said to my mum, I really wanted my ears pierced. And because my parents divorced when I was quite young, they had quite an amicable divorce. And you're going to have to ask your father. So I went and said to Dad, I really want my ears pierced. He said, have you seen people with their nose pierced? I said, yeah. He goes, do you know what happened there? He said, what? He said, well, what they do when you have your ears pierced is they put a little X on your ear and they stand across the room and they fire the gun, and sometimes they miss, so they end up with it in their nose. And I didn't want it then for ages. I was like, I don't want it.
That would have scared me to death.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, it did. Clearly.
Honestly, I loved all that. I loved all that piercing your own ears. They don't do it so often now, do they? Because it's so much cheaper to go and do it. But yeah. We used to do all that. Oh, God. Come on, ladies.
Right, shall I give you another lyric?
Do it.
Oh, God.
Right, are you ready?
Will I get this one?
This is from 1986. So how old were you?
4. Mate, I would have
14?
4. I'd have been about 14, 15.
5, well. 5.
Yeah. So, right, are you ready? Now. This dance ain't for you all. This dance ain't for everybody, only the sexy people.
I know this song.
Do you know?
Only the sexy people. Oh, what's it called? Say it again. Go on.
Now. This dance ain't for you all. This dance ain't for everybody, only the sexy people.
I know this song. Why is it doesn't sound like it when you speak?
I know.
As soon as you said the sexy people at the end.
Rap.
I think it's a rappy one, yeah.
Only the sexy people. No, that was 90s.
Was it?
Yeah. Only the sexy people. Oh, I know this song. It's just I can't. It's because it's. Oh, only the
Two girls.
Salt and pepper.
Oh, it's salt and pepper.
Yeah, salt and pepper. Push it. Push it real good.
Push it. This song's for the sexy people. Oh yeah. Hey,
well, let's do an easy one. You'll both get this quite quick. I got me a Chrysler. It seats about 20, so hurry up and bring your jukebox.
Your jukebox, Mary. The Love Shack is a little old place where we can get together. B-52s.
Okay, right. How rude are we allowed to be?
Come on, be as rude as you like, Doc.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh, she's halfway through the bottle. Be as rude as you like.
Okay. Right. Where did you get your first love
where this is going. Bite.
kiss?
Love kiss.
Like the first true love kiss. And who was it?
True love kiss. So
what?
true love,
kissed,
not
right.
Yeah,
so the first person you thought you wanted to be with.
Okay.
Oh God, that you thought you were going to be with was. Oh God, there's so I can't tell
remember
this
their
story.
name. Oh, you're not going to go there with loads, are you?
Yeah, I mean there is, but I remember. Oh God, I think I might have to overshare this on another one with the girl because this one's.
Okay.
I don't want to
say names if you don't want to.
No, I won't say no. Well, when I thought, I always remember. I might cut this out, but I will tell you because I remember not so much thing. I always remember when I was. Oh God, how old was I? This is really oversharing, ladies. This is. And I always remember. I think there was a girl. I'm sure her name was Tracy. I can't remember now. But we used to hang around down. So we used to have like some shops down the bottom from where we lived, and and there was these flats at the back. So we used to all go up there and used to kiss. But it was none of the like stuff that you did now. Your hands weren't everywhere at the time. Where they were just like kissing like that. Whereas as an adult, especially straight men kiss and their hands go straight down because they literally. Have no decorum. But that's just men in general. We just go straight for it. But at the time, so I was probably about 10, 11.
Did you was in love?
I don't know if I was in love. I just thought I really liked her. And that's why when you have all these feelings, that's so obviously because of the previous, and that's probably why my head was all over the place. But I was 12 or 13.
It's because I'm relatively new. So what age were you when you lost your virginity?
Where was I?
No, how old were you?
I was 14 and she was 25. No, I don't think she would listen to that.
Was this the babysitter?
She was the babysitter. And I always remember. I was 14, so yeah, I think I was nearly 15. I was probably more 15 than 14. And I always remember losing it to. It's not the most romantic song. It was Beastie Boys, "No Sleep Till Brooklyn." And do you know what I always remember, Nikki? I always remember as a 14, obviously because she was a lot older. I mean, she'd be done for everything now, wouldn't she? Because I was like 14.
Oh, it's like different
24, 25. And I always remember when you was doing it, because it's like when you've never done it, it's like, you know, and I always remember thinking when the song was coming on, as you was, and I thought, if I've got to go to the beat of No Sleep Till Brooklyn, what? I have no idea what I'm supposed to be doing, and I did it, and but yeah, and I always remember years later, my mum was furious because she didn't know, and I always remember with her as well, it's like, and this is going back to like my obsession with the EastEnders and Wham and posters all on the wall, and I remember when my mum used to go out, she used to babysit for us, she obviously would be in your bedroom. And I always remember her legs used to rip me posters off the wall. And I used to get mad.
I'm just going to grab my charger. Hold on.
All I remember, honestly, I remember one of the heels going into George Michael's face and I wanted to smash her face. And you know, now you just think, oh my God, but then that just goes to show that I was only literally 14, 15, nearly 14, 15. You know what I mean? And
what you were thinking about, yeah.
Yeah, and all I kept thinking, and it's like it was just. But then it's a bit like when you do something like that at that age, because it's something new. It's like whoa, you become a bit obsessed. So you were doing it all the time. And you know, I always find really bizarre is. Especially now because I'm quite thinking. I mean, I suppose at the time it's like there was no protection, and I just think how. Do you know what I mean? But then I was only 14, 15. So for me, she should have. Well, she said she was on the pill anyway, but it doesn't matter. But you know, and then I found out like, yeah, I just now I just think. That's why I'm a bit. That's why I'm so. I used to be. I've been so over top about protection. Always use I always say that to everybody. Because the 80s, we knew what the 80s were like for.
It was very promiscuous, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the adverts that we had to endure in the 80s, you know what I mean? All them AIDS adverts and you know what I mean, and things like that. And I just think,
but nobody in the 80s there wasn't that thing for having long-term relationships, though, were there?
No,
you went out with someone on a Friday, and by the following weekend, depending on where you were going, you decided you were going with someone else because they were going.
It was very promiscuous, wasn't it? The 80s, and I was thinking, I mean, luckily, I was only like 14, 15 coming up to that period, and after that, I mean, obviously, I slept with other people, and I always made sure I was safe, but. When I think about that now, I just think, God, why did you know what I mean? But then I suppose you're 14, aren't you? Just first time you ever do it.
Yeah.
And it just
God, that would be awful today, wouldn't it? They'd be
out. Yeah, and that's why my mum found out eventually, years later, it was her reaction was the best. It wasn't like, what have you done to my son? It's like, why did I have to pay her if she was sleeping with you?
Well, do you ever see her now?
No. Not for absolutely, oh God, not for years and years and years. I mean,
could you imagine having a "This Is Your Life" and today we found her.
to be honest, I'm not sure whether I heard she'd passed away.
God.
I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, so 14-year-old doing, but like I said, and there was no protection there because you just didn't. I mean, you shouldn't shrug your shoulders to say that, especially at 14. But then I just assumed that she would have protection. So I was looking at, oh God, my mum would have killed her for the court out. She would have at the time, especially being 14. But then, like we said before, that happened then.
Absolutely. Nikki and Karen, that was, to be honest, I didn't squirm as much as I thought I was going to. I was going to be honest. I mean, I did take some out. There is some that took out because I'd named names. I don't want to name names, so I took that bit out. So you can't see. You're not been able to see that bit. But it's literally exactly how they asked me. Nothing filtered. Nothing not set. You've seen it anyway. I told you. So please thank Karen and Nikki for a great show. And I have to do that again. I have to have get some of the people on to ask me some questions. I love not knowing what I'm going to, because obviously when I do this show, I know exactly what I'm going to do. It's great not knowing. A bit nerve-wracking, but brilliant. So please follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. It's not Twitter, X, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Have a great day, you beautiful lot.